We are officially wrapping up the last few remaining officers we have for the Understanding the Officer video series, and today's focus is going to be Goldie Pixie. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Welcome back, guys. We are in the thick of holiday season here, at least here in the United States. So if you are in the US, I hope your holiday season is going well. If you are not, or just in general, I hope everybody's life is going well. We are officially closing out the last handful of remaining Generation 1 officers here. My goal is to finish all of these officers by the end of 2024, so that way we can have all of these videos out there and ready to roll for the new year for new players that may be coming into Warpath. And the focus of today's video is going to be Goldie Pixie. If these videos help you out at all, or if you get any value out of these videos, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel. All right, now we're going to hop in and we are going to start talking about Goldie Pixie. So Goldie Pixie is a bomber specific officer. She is the first like legit bomber officer you were going to have access to in the early days of Warpath. Now, you will often hear me refer to her as the Antonina of the Sky for one specific reason, and that will make sense as we work through her skills. So starting with skill 1, her tactical skill increases the bombing efficiency of this officer's bomber troop by 35%. Skill number 2 increases the damage intensity of this officer's troop by 15%. Skill number 3 increases the firepower of this officer's bomber by 30%. Skill number 4 increases the stability of this officer's bomber by 20%. And then skill number 5, her tactical skill, and why I refer to her as the Antonina of the Sky. For every 4 bombs this officer bomber's troop drops, it drops 1 extra bomb. So essentially, it's like Antonina giving an additional grid of firing range. She gives you an additional bombing run. Now, is she a top tier officer anymore? No, she is not. There have been multiple other officers added to the game that are, you know, quite a bit better than her, just kind of pound for pound skill wise. She is actually still in my lineup. She is one of the main 2 officers I run on my bomber. And that's simply because I haven't invested very heavily into my Air Force like development, if you will, in quite some time. When Air Force came out, I of course did, and then I have backed off and kind of diverted all of my attention to my ground force specifically. But with that being said, she is definitely not, you know, like a true mid to late game officer. She does great in the early stages of the game where you have, you know, limited options on officers. She does really, really well if you do want to go that bombing focused route. Mid to late game, if you know, want to focus on, you know, your ground force or even now, even Navy, if that's something that interests you, you certainly can. And she's a good officer to kind of just hold the fort down, so to speak, as a lead officer on a single bomber. But she's also not going to be a top-of-the-line bomber, just for full transparency. She's going to be a placeholder at best, mid to late game. But she is a good officer to have early game, and she's not a bad officer if you go ahead and invest in her and fully awaken her. She's really not a bad officer to have, especially if you are, you know, one of those players that runs 2, maybe even 3 bombers. You definitely want to have her in that mix for that extra bombing run specifically. So all in all, is she a good long-term investment? I would say yes, she's okay. I mean, she's not going to be anything that's going to like blow the doors off, especially as you transition later into the game. But I would say if you want, you know, a solid foundational officer to invest in to kind of be the backbone of your bomber setup, I think she's okay, for sure. I mean, if you're going to go heavy into your development of Air Force, of course, I would highly suggest investing in the other bomber officers on top of her. But yeah, I would say go ahead and invest in her. I think she's a good, stable placeholder. As always, we try to keep these videos very short and concise and right to the point. So if you have got any other additional questions, thoughts, or concerns about Goldie Pixie, feel free to let me know in the comments below. If you have stuck around and made it this far into the video, if you've got access to Discord and are not already in our community Discord server, the link to that is going to be below in the description. Click on that link. It'll take you right into the community Discord server. Whether you are a new player and have additional questions, want to learn some more, or if you're a veteran player and just want to come hang out, get to know more people in the community, it doesn't matter. Absolutely everybody is welcome. As always, thanks for taking the time to watch the video today, and we'll see you on the next one.